that people have now. So maybe I was always that way inclined, but it took me to discover mountain biking, which luckily there was some jumps in the local woods near my house, so that was a box tick. Have a mountain bike, got one from Halfords with my twin brother on our birthday, and then, you do just ride off things and see what happens.
Let's get into the nitty-gritty about your bike right now. So let's talk about the wheels, any fancy features, some DIY mods you've got on there, and the day-to-day maintenance for people that are listening to this, and build up a vision of what your bike looks like to them.
So a slopestyle bike is really basic. It's so much more basic than downhill bikes, cross-country bikes, the kind of shiny things that people imagine. It honestly has one brake, no rear suspension, just 100mm front suspension, 26-inch wheels. It's kind of a big BMX because you crash all the time, you bail. They need to be really light, like mine under 10 kilos, which is really light for a mountain bike. It's got no gears, so it is really a big BMX. We don't really use carbon fibre much because when you throw your bike at a tree or something, you get damaged and you don't know about it. So it's mostly titanium or aluminium. It's a really simple setup, but it's essentially built for doing big tricks. Like I have to run a really, really long brake hose so you can wrap it around the handlebars so many times because we do bar spins, tail whips, which unwinds it. And then I do like little bodges, like put a bit of rubber inner tube inside my bottom bracket, which is like between the crank arm. That's to stop your pedals spinning when you're in the air, because you do so many tricks without your feet on the pedals. It all needs to stay exactly where it is. And then people invented these super, super lightweight like latex inner tubes, because when your wheels are spinning, their mass is worth 3 times what it is when it's static. So when you spin a bike round that's in motion, like the gyroscopic forces and things behave really differently. So it's really important to save weight in your wheels and in your tyres. So a lot of people are kind of pushing you around with what they're doing there with inner tube tyres. Yeah, there's a lot of thought goes into it.
So let's talk about the system of the judging and the points, because am I right in saying that this is a subjective sport? So it's down to the judges feeling how many points that they can award each trick, and then it's a cumulative points at the end, which gives you who wins.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly how it works. To like the layman, I always compare it to high diving. You've got this thing you want to do off the jump, and you have to execute it perfectly, and that's easy to see because it's kind of the size of the splash, right? For us, it's honestly down to how your feet are positioned on the pedals when you land, like not really bending your arms and legs, making it look graceful, going really high. But really what you're judged on is the difficulty of your tricks and how gnarly and how risky they are. So a double backflip is always going to score more than just like a bar spin when you spin the handlebars round. And I think the runs that get the biggest cheer from the crowd will often also get the biggest score from the judges. It is a very emotive sport. You just want to see people take massive risks and almost kill themselves.
So I feel like in a way it's slightly similar to drifting, because obviously that's subjective. We have 3 judges and they're judging you on your speed, your style, your line and your angle. So I can see kind of how these 2 things could be connected with the style of judging that you have in slopestyle riding. Now, do you find that the judges are very critical of your errors, which can sometimes deter people from trying maybe like a bigger trick?
Yeah, that's interesting what you said about drifting. I didn't know how that was judged, so I'm curious about that. We've also got categories like trick difficulty, amplitude, smoothness, cleanliness, so it's kind of broken down in the same way as drifting. But I always think when you start a run, you've got 100, right? 100%. And they're looking at ways of knocking you down rather than building up from 0. So it's super critical. The judges are kind of looking for what you've done wrong, not what you've done right. And that's very frustrating as a rider or an athlete, because you're like, come on, I did all of these things. And they're like, look, you slipped the pedal on the last jump. And it's probably the same in your sport, right?
Yeah, you start at 100 when you do a run, and basically depending on how far your rear wheels are into the clipping zone, whether they're on the edge, in the middle, or right at the painted line, they will deduct you points as you go along. So you start with 100, same thing, you start with 100, and then they're being super duper critical. And as I say, as a driver, sometimes you feel like saying, you go and do it.
Yeah.
You have a go. It's super difficult. I wasn't sure that my rear wheels at 45, 50 miles an hour were not quite on the painted line at the back there. So yeah, I always find that there's 2 ways of playing the game. And is it the same in your sport? You can either be super clean and you can just really be analytical with what jumps and what tricks you're going to take to make sure that you keep those points moving, or you go for the big one. No risk, no reward.
Yeah, like, there's so many similarities. It's the same thing. You do get the people that are analytical and kind of almost conservative with the tricks they bring to the table, but they nail them every single time, and those people like stay on tour for years. And then you get these mad dogs that come and go, that are balls to the wall. They might try a trick that's never been done. 9 times out of 10 they fail, but on like the epic day when it all comes together, they that's the best feeling, when you see someone just rise up through the ranks and do that. I'm sure it's the same in drifting, right? You just get this never heard of driver that just rocks up, smashes everyone, and they're gone within 12 months. You're like, remember that person?
No, definitely. And do you have any tricks that are sort of only done by you, or is there something that you're particularly proud of that you did in a competition that all of the other competitors, right, I'm just going to go home then?
I was the first person to do a 720 no-hander in a competition. That was in Switzerland. I won that one, which was really cool. And then quite quickly you see other people doing it. Like, you know, 3 months pass, people have seen you do it. That's the inspiration phase out the window. They've seen it, that it works. And then you go to another competition, I'm thinking, I'm just going to bust one of those out and I'll win again. And then 2 other people are doing it. And then everyone's doing it. So you have to be, like, quite far ahead to bring something to competition for the first time. So that was really cool. That was a few years ago. I was the first to do a backflip Superman to no-hander. And then with Red Bull, I kind of turned a corner away from competition. So my career very much diverted away from comps and into, you know, YouTube, content creation, projects. And that was an even bigger opportunity to get creative and start building my own courses to try tricks that no one's done before. I did like a running gainer off of this drop where I held the bike, did a running backflip, got on it upside down and landed. That was quite cool, and we made a whole, you know, video series about the process of learning that. So yeah.
I mean, we've got to talk about that. What I like watching are your videos on Instagram, where it's that pursuit of perfection is in repetition. So I'm watching you try the trick, and it's like, again, and it just gets a little bit better each time. Like, how many times do you think you have to repeat a trick until you get it bang on and you get that perfect shot for social?
Anywhere from 2 to 350 is the most I've ever done of something, and that was over weeks. It was a sort of trick where I did post this on Instagram, so if people want to find it, it's on my Instagram. But we built 2 logs out of the ground. I did a backflip, took my feet off the pedals on the bike in the air, landed both feet on these separate upright logs, like pillars, swung the bike out in front of me, and then whipped it back down and used that momentum to go into a front flip off of them, put my feet back on the pedals and landed. So it was like a really cool trick. I could only do 5 to 10 of them a day because it hurt so much to crash. So 35 lots of 10 attempts, weeks. We got that one done. I'll never do that again.
And is that it? Once you complete a trick, you've got the clip of it happening, you're like, right, sound. I've done it.
It's a sense of triumph, but also the biggest sense of relief. It's like, if anyone wants to try that, good luck to you. I'm not bothering ever again. Yeah.
Good luck to you out there.
Yeah.
Give it a go.
I mean, it's the same in motorsport, right? If you want to do something really intricate and epic, the risk of getting it wrong is entire new rear end or something like that. So, you know, how many trips and epic ideas have been aborted because of, like, you hit something by 5 mil? Surely loads.
Let's talk about some of the tricks that you've done whilst you're actually at home, which is where you are right now, actually. And in your backyard, if you haven't already, guys, checked out on YouTube, Matt, during COVID, started to build an insane compound, which I actually remember when this YouTube build started, and I couldn't believe, like, how quickly it caught fire. Like, that was a real moment for your career on YouTube, and how you managed to actually blend slopestyle riding and creating content and change how everything is for you now.
Yeah, it was a mad time. I just moved into a house that had